Hey, welcome to your workout. Equipment for today is going to be a loop resistance band. If you don't have a loop, if you have a long band, you can just tie it so that you have a little loop, or you could even just tie an old pair of leggings. Those work really well. And then for weights today, I have one 3-pound dumbbell, and then I also have a set of 5-pound dumbbells. Please use any amount of weight that you're comfortable with or whatever you have at home. And don't worry if you're missing any or all of these items. You can do the class with just body weight if you like. All right, friends, as soon as you have your equipment and you're ready to warm up, you can press play on this video. We'll begin with feet straight down from the hips, and then from here, we're going to raise one heel bending at the knee, and then we alternate heel raises. Pretend here that you have a book on your head, okay? So you want to avoid this. See this bouncing? We want to try to keep everything really still. 4, 3, 2, 1, and then both heels down. We're going to raise and lower the heels together. Pressing all 10 toes evenly into the floor, keeping a tiny bend in the knee, and then I want you to really pull up on the lower abs and think about a wrapping around here with your abdominals as if you had a corset on. Shoulders down for 4, 3, 2, last one. Let's walk our feet out wider than hips. We're going to alternate toe taps. We're taking our toe as far out to the side as we can. We're getting a nice straight leg. Let's add arm reach up. Same side as the toe that's tapping, we reach straight up, and then we still reach that leg out to the side. We're here for 4, 3, 2, 1. We're gonna take the arm across the chest. The main thing I want you to watch for here is keeping your chest pointed straight ahead so we don't have any rotation in the torso. I'll show you what that looks like. Looks like this. So this is what we're trying to avoid. You can see how my chest was going side to side. We're here for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Up 4, 3, 2, 1. Across for 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go up 2, cross for 2, up for 2, and again across for 2. One more time, up 2, last time across for 2. And then from here, we're gonna walk our feet out wider than hips, and then an external rotation from the hips. So knees and toes turn out, tailbone down, shoulders down away from the ears, and we bend. A couple things to watch for here as we plie in second position. So just starting from the bottom up, we wanna make sure our feet are pressing evenly into the floor. So all 10 toes, ball of your foot and heels. And then we want to check and make sure our knees are not overextending the toes. So if you find your knees going over your toes, I want you to take a little wider stance for 4, 3, 2, 1, and then we're gonna hold it down. So from here, just a little tiny hip lift. And we're gonna continue working our way up on our form. So we're gonna make sure tailbone is pointed straight down. So you don't have a tuck, you don't have your butt sticking out. We're just keeping it neutral here. We have that bracing in our core, and then shoulders down, chin slightly lifted, and then I want you to reach your arms out as if someone were playing tug of war with your arms, and then we'll begin to circle the arms back. Really nice. Chest is up, shoulders right over hips. Little pulse and circle here for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's go the other way. So we're continuing to reach the arms out in opposite directions, just creating some space in the shoulder joints. Feels really nice. For 4, 3, 2, last one. Let's hold it here. Big inhale. As you exhale, we're going to round the spine. Gaze goes down. We do this little hug. And then elongating the spine. So thinking about lifting the crown of the head up towards the ceiling. And then thinking about the opposite way as well. So we're lifting out through the head and we're keeping that tailbone driving down towards the floor. 2 more. Last one. And then let's rise up. We're going to turn our feet back into parallel, flat back. We fold it forward. Fingertips coming down towards the floor, shoulders back, and then we're going to bend the right knee, shifting our weight to the right and then up and over to the left. You can adjust here. I wanted my feet to be a little bit wider. I want you to really feel an inner thigh stretch here. So if you're not feeling it, you can take the feet out just a little bit wider. Let's do one more to each side. And then bring your hips back up to the center. Little bend in the knees, heel toe the feet under hips, and then let your head hang. So let your neck completely relax and reach for the floor as you roll up. Nice and slowly. Up at the top, couple shoulder rolls back. Okay, just opening up the chest. Let's do 2 more. All right, let's grab our loop band and a set of weights. We're going to begin in the center of the room today. The loop band goes above the knees, around the legs, and then 1 weight for each hand. We're going to walk our feet out just a little bit wider than hip distance, and then we're going to bring the weights up by the shoulders. So elbows down, shoulders back. And then from here, we're going to lower the weights. We're going to circle into this wide curl, and then we're going to push out to the side, pull it in, circle, narrow. Nice and slow here. This is a really good time to check in and see if you've got the right set of weights for you. For example, if you feel like you're using momentum to control the weights, it's a good idea to go down in your weight. We want to make sure we're using our muscles and not momentum. The momentum puts a lot of strain on the joints. And also, if you're feeling like this is super easy, it might be a good time to go up in weights. Just challenge yourself a little bit. Good, let's do 4 more. Here's 3. We're trying to keep this nice mindful pace where we're really controlled in our movements. We're bracing the core. 2. Good, here's our last one. From here, we're gonna take the hands up overhead, lower the weights to your shoulders, and then we push the tailbone back, bending at the waist. Knees are gonna bend slightly deeper for a hinge and shoulder press. A hinge, if you're not familiar with a hinge, it's different than a squat. It's a bend at the waist and a lifting of the tailbone. So you want to really think about your weight shifting back behind you instead of down. Your knees will remain right over your ankles. Good, so a hinge works the back side of the body, the hamstrings and the glutes and the back, whereas a squat is more quads. Good, let's press and hinge for 4, 3, 2. Here's our last one. We'll hold it here with the weights at our shoulders, and then your right arm, I want you to extend, weight right in front of your shoulder, pull it in, and then we're going to lean away from the weight as we extend it out to the side. We're gonna switch. Lots of core work here. If you're not liking that lean, here's another option for you. You're just gonna go out to the side, okay? So if the lean's not working for you, you can keep your shoulders right over hips. If you're doing the lean with me, I want you to think about keeping a really long spine here. So we're taking this long spine, we're shifting it away. We're not trying to bend over to the side. Let's do 4 more. And I'm looking back at my weight. 2. Last one. All right, friends, we're gonna add some lower body. So we're gonna take the arms down, we're gonna do a hammer curl, weights to shoulders, and then squat, rise. So the squat, different than the hinge. You're pretending that you're sitting into a chair. So your butt is going back and down. Your knees are coming more forward than they do in the hinge, but make sure they're not crossing past your toes, overextending the toes. If you find that happening, I want you to shift your weight into your heels. Go back a little bit more with the hips or lessen your range of motion if that's not possible. Good, let's do 2 more. Last one. Good, we're gonna take it back down. So we're gonna bring our weights up to our shoulders, and then from here, just your left heel. I want you to lift your heel, and then we're gonna push the arms down as we lower the heel. So weights come into shoulder as you raise the heel, and then we're pushing everything down together. Trying to keep everything else pretty still. I'm trying to keep my chest up, eyes up. So I'm trying to pick a spot on the wall. Make sure you're not looking down at the floor. For 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's add on. So from here, we have our heel lifted. I want you to do a little press out with your thigh. Heel goes down, up, press, in, down. Good, so as if you're trying to tear that band using only your thigh. Good, let's do 4 more. If your lower back's talking to you at all here, you can come up a little bit or set the weights down or both. Good, last one. Let's hold it up here and then just a little tiny press. Little tiny press. So it's teeny, teeny, tiny. I'm just taking my thigh out a little bit wider, and think about your thigh doing the work, not your knee. Little press. 4, 3, 2, 1, and then let's keep the heel raised. We're gonna step behind our supporting leg, lowering the weights, and then sit back in your chair. Heel is lifted. If you want, you can bring the heel down if that's feeling better for you today. Try to sit down nice and low right here. You got this. Let's do 4 more. 3, 2. Last one, we're gonna do 1 more. That was a weird count. We're gonna hold it here, just the heel. We lower and lift. So my standing leg is on fire. This leg, the stabilizer, is getting so much work because we're doing these big movements here tied to this leg. So if you're feeling your stabilizer leg, you're doing it right. For 3, 2, and 1. We're gonna set the heel down. We're going to rise, lower the weights, lift the weights, and sit. Good, so we're repeating the entire series for the second side of the body. It's a really good time to check in here, see if your band has ridden up, as bands always do. If you need to make any adjustments here so you're comfortable, please do. Let's do 4 more. 3. Make sure you're not swinging the weights, okay? We want to be controlling them in both directions. Last one. Let's hold our squat. So from here, your right heel, we're going to lift and then lower the heel, lower the weights. Trying to keep my chest up, eyes up. I do have a hinge here, slight hinge, but I'm not trying to intentionally hinge here. So try to keep chest up, eyes up. That's what I'm trying to say. For 4, 3, 2, 1. We're gonna add on. So we're gonna take it up. We're gonna do that little thigh press and down. Up, press, and down. Really supporting the spine here using the lower abs. So think about engaging, pulling up and in on those lower abs. Let's do 3 more. 2. Last one. Let's take the heel back up, arms up, weights at your shoulders, little press out. Press, press. So every time I press this thigh, I'm feeling this thigh as well. We're really trying to hold everything else still. Press it out. 4, 3, 2, 1. Good job. Let's hold the heel up. We're gonna step it behind our supporting leg. Arms go down. And then we land the ball of our foot and sit down a little bit deeper. You can land your heel here if you need to. You can have your heel down if that feels better for you. Slow for 4, 3, 2. Last one. Let's hold it here, just the heel. Lower, lift. Good, elongating the spine, so think length out through the top of the head. Lift the heel for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring it down. Good job. So come on up. We're gonna take our feet out a little bit wider and then just roll down here, nice and slowly. One bone at a time. You can drop your weights and then just shift the hips side to side here. Little bend in the knee as you shift. Give your hips a little wiggle. And then when you're ready, let go of your weights, little bend in the knees, and then we're gonna just roll up. Nice and slowly. Great work, friends. You can get rid of your band and then set your weights aside. Or if you have just one set of weights, you're gonna take one weight with you. I'm gonna switch to my 3-pound weight. Our bar work today, we're going to begin with bar on your left, and then just a light touch on the bar, feet wider than hips with an external rotation. Palm is gonna point out in front of you, and then I want you to roll your shoulders back so we don't have any of this rounding forward. So nice wide shoulders here. Let's bend the knees, bend the elbow, bringing the weight up to the shoulder, and rise. Just like in our warm-up, we have our feet pressing evenly into the floor. We have our tailbone pointed down, elongating the spine. Shoulders are down. Good, let's do 4 more. 3, 2, 1, and then we're going to add on. So we're gonna take it back down, and then I want you to raise your weight on a diagonal, keeping your palm pointed behind you. Pull it in and rise. Good, so try not to change the rotation here. So when I raise my weight, it's pointed directly behind me. Really feeling core here as we take that weight out on a diagonal, lots of lats. Good, last 4. 3. Here's 2. Last 1. Let's take it back down. So from here, we're gonna keep everything really still, just the arm. We're gonna go diagonal and elbow lowers. Keeping that palm pointed behind you as you raise. Good, let's add on a little bit here. So we're gonna do a little tiny dip and dip. Dip lower, dip lift, there it is. 4, 3, 2, last one. We're gonna bring it down, and then from here, we'll go in slow-mo. We're gonna take the arm down, palm turns towards the bar, heels together, and then legs are straight, and then we step it out to second. I'm trying to lift my heels as I bring them together. If that's not working for you, that's okay. You can keep your heels on the floor if you like. Hello, inner thighs. Let's do 4 more. 3, 2, 1. Let's hold the heels together. So legs are straight, palm is pointed at the bar. We're going to bend the knees, bend the elbow. Plie in first with a hammer curl. Whether your heels are lifted or on the floor, I want you to keep them pressing together, okay? That's gonna activate your glutes. And try not to squeeze your glutes here. That causes a tuck usually, which puts a lot of pressure on the knees. So try to keep your glutes relaxed. They're gonna activate. 4, 3, 2, last one. Let's take it back down. From here, we're gonna take the arm out to the side on a diagonal, pull it in, rise, drop. Really feeling that core component here in the side of the body. Good, let's do 4 more. Nice and slow. 3, 2, and last one. Good, let's hold it here. So from here, make sure heels are pressing together, tailbone points down. We're gonna just go diagonal and lower. Good, so we're taking the arms straight out from the shoulder, so try not to let it go like in front of your body. We wanna take it straight out. Let's add a dip. Tailbone points straight down at your heels. 4, 3, 2, last one. Let's hold it here. So we're gonna press the heels together a little bit more. Take your knees a little wider, and then I want you to sink down. Elongate the spine, shoulders down, chin lifted. Let's take the arm out a little straighter. Hold for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come on up. All right, friends, you can set your weight aside. We're gonna keep our bar on the same side. I want you to step out a little bit farther. We're gonna do an external rotation with our leg closest to the bar, so my toes pointed at a 45, and then no rotation on this side. Toes point straight ahead. We're gonna do hand on the hip, and then I want you to lean towards your bar, bending your standing leg. We're gonna lift this leg up straight out from the hip. Long spine here, so try not to do this. We wanna keep our spine really long. You might need to drop your leg down a little bit. And then from here, we're gonna start with just a little tiny press back and a lift. Back and lift. So I like to keep my hand right here on my hip, abs, pelvis, so I can get some feedback here of if I'm moving or shifting my pelvis. We wanna keep this really still. And up. 4, 3, shoulders down, 2, last one. We're gonna hold it here. Now I want you to stretch your leg a little straighter, bend a little deeper into your standing leg. We're gonna just go down an inch, up an inch, lower, lift. Ribs pulling in here. Try not to let your ribs splay out. We wanna have this nice core engagement. Lower and lift for 4, 3, 2, 1 more. We're gonna hold it up from here. I want you to pull your knee in towards the bar without changing the shape of your torso, and then extend. I'll show you what we want to avoid is this. See how my entire body is drifting with my leg? I want you to keep everything still and only move the leg. Good, try to get that leg as straight as you can for 4, 3, 2. Last one we're gonna add on, okay? So we're gonna pull the knee in, and then we're gonna go knee to knee. So you're gonna do a little rotation. My belly button is pointing down, and then we're gonna lift, open the hips up, and take it to the side. So we go lower, twist, hips open. So what I mean by that is your top hip is stacked right over your bottom hip right here as you extend the leg. Let's do 4, 3, 2, last one. Let's hold it out, stretch the leg a little straighter, little tiny lifts. So we want you to try to stop your leg from falling below that starting point. So just think up, up, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good, bring it up And then step a little bit closer to the bar. We're gonna drop this hip away and then reach up and over. And if you don't have, if you're using like a chair at home, see if you can hold on like in front of a sink or hold on to the arm of a couch or a railing. Good, and then bring it up. Let's switch sides. So you're gonna have your bar on your right hand side, weight in the opposite hand, light touch, and then feet are gonna walk out wider than hips, and we have an external rotation. Tailbone down, palm point straight in front of you, and then roll your shoulders back. Let's bend the elbow and the knees. Check in here. We want the knees to be tracking over second and third toes, so thighs are pressing back. And then we also want to make sure that our knees are not overextending our toes. If you see that happening, step your feet a little bit wider or don't come down as low. Most likely step it a little bit wider for 4, 3, 2, 1. We're gonna add on. Let's take it back down. We're gonna push our arm out on a diagonal in front of the body and rise. When we raise the weight, I want you to avoid leading with the chest. I'll show you what that looks like. Looks like this. Watch my shoulders. So see how my shoulder kind of drifted? I want you to keep this really still. That's one that I see a lot in my in-person classes, and it makes a really big difference. Good, 2 more. Last one. Let's take it back down, and then from here, just the arm. We're gonna go out on a diagonal, pull it in, keeping the chest still, keeping the ribs pulling in, tailbone down. Good, and my palm is pointed straight behind me as I raise it. Let's add our little dip. So it's dip, lift, dip, lower. Try to be really controlled with the dips here so we're not just bouncing. 4, you got this. 3, 2, last one. And then we will go slow-mo. So we're gonna step the heels together, legs straight, and then arm goes down, palm points at the bar, and second. Try to be really soft on your landing right here, so it's nice and controlled. And then heels, whether you're keeping your heels on the floor or you're lifting them, I want you to try to press them together, okay? And then we squeeze the legs together. 4, 3, 2, 1 more time out, and then we're gonna take it back in. Heels together. So your heels are gonna be pressing together, shoulders back, palm points at the bar, and then we bend the knees, bend the elbow, and extend. My tailbone is pointed straight down at my heels. My chest is right over my hips. I always pretend I'm sliding down a wall and I have to keep my shoulders on the wall. Good, let's do 3 more. 2, 1. Let's add on. We're gonna take it down and then we're gonna take the arm out to the side on a diagonal, straight out from the shoulder. So we're trying not to take the arm in front of or behind the shoulder, but if you have a limiting factor, if you have an injury, anything like that, you are welcome to take the arm. You can even just take it straight up here if you need to. Let's do 4 more. 3, how we feeling? Are our heels pressing together? I hope so. 2. Last one. Good, we're gonna take it back down. And then from here, just the arm. We're going side on a diagonal and in. Good, I want you to try to keep everything else really still. We're gonna stay down nice and low, try not to cheat. Good, and then when you're ready, we're gonna add a little dip. Dip lower, dip lift. Lower, lift. Nice and controlled, we're not bouncing. We're here for 4, 3, 2, one more time. We're gonna take the arm back out. From here, heels pressed together, knees wide. We're gonna sink down just half an inch. Brace the core, shoulders down, hold for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come on up. All right, friends, you can set your weight aside and then step out just a little bit from the bar. I like to be just out of reach. And then our inside leg, we're gonna have an external rotation, no rotation in this outside leg. So this foot points ahead, this one points at a 45, hand on the hip, and then we're gonna bend our standing leg, lifting up our moving leg, leaning into the bar. So long spine. If you find yourself here, I want you to lower the leg and work on elongating that spine. So we don't want any crunch happening here. Nice and long. And then I want you to do a little tiny press back, lift. So we're just making this little 90-degree angle here. The hip is not moving as we press back. I'll show you what we want to avoid on our next one right here. This. Okay, so we want to keep torso really still. It's just a tiny press back and up. 4, 3, 2. Good, last one. And then from here, we're gonna bend a little deeper into our standing leg. Let's go down an inch, up an inch. Inch, of course, is open to interpretation. We just want a tiny lower and lift. Stretching that leg as straight as we can. Tiny lift for 4. Drop and lift 3, 2. Last time down, lift it up. From here, we're gonna keep all of this really still as we pull our knee towards the bar and extend. So we're still elongating that spine. Try not to allow your tailbone to tuck under here for 4, 3, 2, last one, and then we're gonna add on. So we're gonna pull the knee in, we're gonna rotate knee to knee, my belly button points down, and then as I take my leg back and extend, my belly button points straight ahead, top hip over bottom hip. So it's in, rotate, lift, extend, rotate. We're trying to get the leg really straight out from the hip here. 4, 3, 2, last one. We're gonna hold it up, and then from here, just a little tiny lift up. We're trying to stop our foot from dropping below the starting point, so just think up, lift 4, 3, 2, 1, and bring it down. Good job, feet in parallel. Step a little closer to your bar, and then drop the hip, reach back towards the wall. Good, and then come on up. We're gonna face the bar, hands shoulder distance apart, and then just walk it back, bending at the waist. So my tailbone points straight back behind me. And then let's walk our feet out wider than hips. Tailbone curls up towards the ceiling. And then I'm allowing my chest to sink down to the floor. So my spine is an extension. I have this nice dip in my spine. And I'm really lifting the tailbone to stretch up the back of the legs. And then let's bring it back to neutral spine. So tailbone points straight back, long spine. Left hand reaches for right toes. We're gonna look under our underarm for the ceiling. Try to keep the neck in line with spine so your head's not hanging down. We wanna keep it here. Big inhale through the nose. Exhale out of the mouth. And replace the hand. Opposite hand goes down. And we're looking under the underarm for the ceiling. Elongating the spine. Let's do a big inhale through the nose. Exhale out of the mouth. And replace the hand. We're gonna do a little bit in the knees and then just heel toe, feet under hips. Curling the tailbone under and then rolling up one bone at a time. Body is on this diagonal, so my heels are behind my hips, and then we're gonna just do a little pedal. Good, pedal 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come on up. Excellent work, great job, friends. We're gonna come down to the mat. So please bring your equipment with you, band and weights, and I'll see you on the mat. Floor work today. We're going to begin with one weight. I've chosen a 5-pound dumbbell, and then I also have a loop band that I'm going to set aside for now. So just your weight, and then let's come up to kneeling. We're going to step the right foot in front of the body, and then I want you to just heel toe. So your knee's out on about a 45-degree angle, and then your weight goes in that right hand as well. So my ankle is right under my knee. So that's something really important to check for. And then from here, we're going to raise the weight straight up over the shoulder, slow it down on the lower, and then keeping shoulders over hips, we're gonna just lean out over that forward leg. So it's a lean coming from the hip. We're not leaning with our chest. I'm gonna show you what that looks like, just in case you're like, what is she talking about? It looks like this. Okay, so we're gonna keep shoulders right over hips, and then we're gonna just lean into this leg. Hello, inner thighs. For 4, 3, we're getting a nice stretch on this thigh. 2, last one. Good, we're gonna bring it back up so that ankle's right under the knee, and then I want you to press the arm up. We're gonna look up at the weight, keep a long spine, touch the floor with the opposite hand, bring it up, and press. Good, so I'm trying to keep a neutral spine here. I'm leaning from the hip, and up. Lots of obliques here. Let's do 4 more. 3, 2, I'm also feeling a ton of lower abs as I bring myself up right here. Last one. And bring the weight down. Good work. You can pass your weight to your opposite hand. We're gonna bring this knee down right under the hip, and then we're gonna step that left foot forward. So knee is right over the ankle, and then we're gonna heel toe so that our leg's out about a 45-degree angle. And then from here, we're gonna press that weight straight up from the shoulder, slow it down on the lower, and then we lean, keeping shoulders over hips. Good, so I'll show you again what we want to avoid with the lean. Watch my shoulders here. See how I'm leaning out over my leg? That really did not feel good on my knee. So I want you to keep your shoulders right over hips. Good, let's do 4 more. 3, we're really controlling that weight. Don't let the weight control you. 2. Last one. And then from here, we're gonna press the weight up. Hold it up. We're gonna look up at that weight. Keep a long spine, reach for the floor. Bring it up, lower the weight. So it's up, lean, lift, lower the weight. And I'm trying to keep a nice long spine here. Let's do 4 more. Lots of lower abs. 3, 2, and last one. Slowly lower the weight. Good job. You can set that weight aside, and then we're gonna come down to our backs, bringing the band. So you can place your band just above the knees, around the thighs, or no band is gonna be fine as well. And then if you'd like, you can bring your weight. So weight is optional. If you don't wanna use the weight, you can just press your palms into the floor. Otherwise, we're gonna hold the weight right over the chest. So a little bend in the elbows. We're gonna pull the ribs in, slight tuck with the tailbone, press the feet into the floor, and then we're gonna lift the hips up. So keeping a neutral spine here, I want you to just lower your hips and lift. I'm coming down about halfway over the floor. Range of motion up to you. You can go down an inch or you can go all the way to the floor. As you're doing these, friends, think about your knees overextending your toes. So you want to really think about lengthening the top side of the body. So I always think about pushing my knees out over my toes. They don't actually go over my toes, but that little adjustment, I can feel the lengthening. I can feel my quads engaging. Good, let's do 2 more. Last one, we're gonna hold it up. And then from here, your left leg, you're going to lift, tap the toe. Good, I'm not changing the bend in my knee. The movement is coming from my hip right here. Try to keep your hips level. Try to keep your shoulders wide. Don't let your shoulders roll forward, round forward that is, for 3, 2, 1. Let's take that leg back up. So we have that 90-degree bend. I want you to lower your hips down an inch, up an inch, down, lift. And we're still trying to keep this knee overextending the toes so you get this nice length in the front side of the body. Lower, lift for 4, 3, 2. Last one, let's hold it up. From here, we're gonna take the legs straight and bend. Extend and bend. Try to make sure your weight here is over your chest, not over your face. You never know, right? Accidents happen. Just try to keep it over your chest. For 4, 3, 2. Last one, we're gonna hold the leg out. So knee to knee, we're gonna lift the leg towards the ceiling and then we lower, maybe take the weight overhead and bring everything up. The weight is optional. If you feel like your back is arching here, set your weight down or just hold it over your chest. You have 4, 3, 2. Last one, let's hold it up, little tiny hip lifts. Good, like you wanna touch the ceiling with your toe, but you can only use this leg. Little lift. Lift for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slowly roll it down. Good, you can set your weight aside. Hug your knees in, gently rock side to side. And then we're gonna bring our feet back down to the mat, about hip distance apart. Weight is going to go up just over the chest. And then I want you to widen your shoulders. That keeps you from doing this, rounding forward. So shoulders down. And then we're gonna do a slight little tiny tuck under here. And then let's lift the hips up. I want you to elongate the top of your body by thinking about overextending the knees over the toes. And then we're gonna just lower down and lift. Pay attention here if your band is pulling your knees inward. I want you to try to keep your knees right over your ankles. I noticed that my knees were going in a little bit from the band, so you want to resist that. For 4, 3, 2. Last one, let's hold the hips up and then we're going to take our right leg. We're going to just lift, tap the toe. So you're trying to keep your hip bones level here. Try to keep everything else really still. Good, you have 4, 3, 2. Last one. Let's take the leg back up. We're gonna hold it in a tabletop and then I want you to just dip an inch, lift an inch, dip, and lift. We're still thinking lengthening the front side of the body. We're keeping our ribs pulling in, so don't allow your ribs to splay. Little lift for 4, 3, 2. Last one, let's hold it up. We're gonna extend. We're going knee to knee and bend. Beautiful. So try to keep everything else really still. Making sure we're breathing, keep those shoulders wide. You have 4, 3, 2, and 1. Leg goes straight. Let's take the toes up to the ceiling. Little tiny hip lifts. Good, like you want to tap the toe with your tap the ceiling with your toe, but you can only use your left leg. There it is. 4, 3, 2, 1. You can set your foot down, bring your hips down, set the weight aside, and then just hug the knees in. We're gonna rock side to side. All right, and then we are exactly where we need to be for our core finisher today. So keeping the band on, or take it off if you need to, we're gonna bring our hands to the base of our neck, and then we're gonna lift leg up to the tabletop, other leg up to tabletop. Flexing the feet here, and then I want you to keep a neutral spine. So we're not pressing our lower back into the floor. We're keeping our spine nice and neutral, and then knees are gonna be right over the hips. You can keep your head down, or you can lift your shoulders, up to you. So try to avoid pushing your head forward. Pretend you have like an apple under your chin, and then flex feet. We're gonna just press, like you wanna stamp a footprint of your feet into the wall. So I'm really just moving my knees out a couple inches and pulling it in. Press. Hello, lower abs. Press for 4, 3, bring your head down if you need to, 2. Last one. From here, we're gonna point the toes. We're gonna take our right leg. You're gonna just lower it down as low as you can, keeping a neutral spine. Bring the leg up. Lower and lift. So maintaining the neutral spine is our objective. That's the most important thing. And we're gonna adjust our movements accordingly. So if you feel your spine arching, you're not gonna take your leg down as low on the next one. 4, 3, 2. Last one, we're gonna bring it up, and then from here, we're gonna point the toes, extend, and then I want you to flex, bend to a tabletop. Point, extend, bend and flex. Try to stop your knees right over your hip socket here, so they're not coming in like here. That causes a lot of movement in the pelvis and in the spine. We want that neutral, so we're gonna be really, really precise. 4, 3, 2. Last one. Let's take the legs out straight. So you can adjust here. If you want to make this more gentle, take the legs up. If you want more of a challenge, take them down on a diagonal. We're going to just do a little press out, little press out. Good. Spine is neutral, elbows wide. Press 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring it down. Good work. You can slip that band off. Let's stretch the glutes and open up the hips a little bit. So we're gonna take our left foot on the right thigh and then bring your hands around your right leg. Good. Try to keep your tailbone on the mat here so we're not curling up into a ball. We have a nice long spine. All right, and then let's bring right leg down, left foot down. We're gonna put our opposite foot on the leg and then just reach through. And try not to force the knee out wide here. Just kind of let it be. And we're gonna use this leg to adjust. So if you want a deeper stretch, you pull the leg in. If you want a more gentle stretch, you're gonna let your foot go down towards the mat. All right, let's release. We're gonna bring that down, and then we're gonna walk our heels out to the edge of our mat, arms out like an airplane, and then side to side windshield wiper. Let your pelvis rock here. Get a nice loosening in the lower back. Just massaging out those glutes. Good, one more to each side. And then we're gonna hug the knees in and just gently rock and roll up. From here, we're gonna come to all fours. Fingers wide, and then really press into the mat. Nice strong shoulders. Let's inhale. Lower the belly, lift the chest, lift the tail, really relax your abdominals here, and then exhale, spine goes up, tailbone curls under. One more time, inhale. One more time, exhale. And then we'll come to neutral. We're gonna step our left hand, or left foot between the hands, who said that? And then tuck your back toes under, raising the back knee. Press through your back heel to stretch quads and elongate hip flexor. And then if you'd like a little bit more, you can take your left hand up to the ceiling, keep your hips sinking down, and then really reach for the ceiling and think about pushing off the floor with your right hand. Let's circle the arm down. We're gonna gently lower our back knee, and then keeping the forward heel on the mat, we walk the hips back and then maybe reach for the toes. Nice stretch up the back of the legs, hamstrings, calf muscles. Good, and then let's walk our hands back up. We're gonna replace the foot with the opposite foot. So you're gonna step through, tuck the back toes under, and then raise the back knee, pressing through the heel. Gaze is gonna be out about the edge of the mat. And then if you'd like, you can take your right hand, we're gonna reach for the ceiling, keep your hips sinking down, keep pressing through that back heel, and then really reach up and push out of the mat. So like someone's playing tug of war with your arms again. Good, and then we're gonna circle the arm down. So back knee is gonna float down to the mat, and then we walk our hands back, hips back, and reach for the toes. Good, nice stretch all the way up the back of the legs. And then last but not least, let's put our foot back on the floor. We're gonna bring our hands in front and then step both feet together. So little forward fold here, grab opposite elbow if you like, and then just let your head hang. We're gonna gently nod, yes please. Shake the head, no thank you. One more time, yes please. One more time, no thank you. And then let's float fingertips down to the floor. Bend the knees a little deeper, weight in the heels, reach for the floor as you roll up slowly. Bringing the head up last. Great work, friends. That is it for our class today. I will see you next workout, and please let me know if you need anything this week. Bye.